Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Committed Critics, a pop culture podcast. We're not only committed to our opinions, but also each other. Aww. I'm Kevin Lau.
I'm Zach Wright.
And I'm Jordan Spearman. What's up?
Hello.
Hey, so you guys just watched a movie that you guys, apparently both of you haven't seen before. I thought Jordan might have seen it before.
Nope.
Neither of us didn't see it before. Oh, also, real quick, side note, Ryan's gone. He's celebrating his birthday. So, happy birthday, Ryan.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ryan. This will come out a whole month afterwards.
A whole month after. But yeah, I have never seen this movie, and Jordan has never seen it either.
I thought I saw more than what I have, but after watching it, no. No, I did not.
Yeah, I've seen the first sequence before, obviously, but that's about it.
I feel like the first sequence they have to show it at film school at some point. It's like
I don't remember seeing it.
I don't.
It is,
to be honest. It was always like French modernism or like some weird indie like
or Kubrick.
It was terrible choices.
Yeah, interesting. All right, well, yeah. So in case someone doesn't know, we are talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first Indiana Jones film from 1981, I believe. And it was directed by Steven Spielberg. It was produced by George Lucas and like the whole Lucasfilm company after they
definitely story was by George Lucas 100%.
Definitely.
No doubt in my mind. Well of Souls. All the terminology they throw at you and the staff of Ra. Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm so glad Spielberg directed it because I don't think it would be anywhere near as good if it was anyone else.
No,
that's fair.
It would not be. Oh my god. Yeah. I remember like when you're listening to them, like the two agents talk to Indiana and Marcus, and they're like, oh yeah, the Ark or whatever it is, the Covenant of the Ark, right? Like the Covenant of the Ark is located in the Well of Souls. You got to find the maps, the map room. I'm like, oh my god, it's just like an information dump in the first 20 minutes.
And at least though, with the way Spielberg directs it, like it's very visual. You have a lot of pictures to go with it, so it's not just a bunch of words being thrown at you.
Yeah, you definitely. The meeting was like, Lucas, like they don't need all these pictures. Like, let's have it spread out through the entire movie. And Spielberg's like, absolutely not. No chance in hell.
But yeah, going over Indiana Jones. What's your overall thoughts with it? Zach, you want to start off with it?
Yeah, sure. It's pretty par for the course. I don't know why I was expecting for this to like knock my socks off and be like my next obsession. Like I was kind of expecting to like buy a bullwhip and a fedora at some point after this. But I don't feel like I have the need to. So like it's the adventure movie of all adventure movies, right? It's definitely the framework of every other modern adventure movie that came out after it. It's good, but it relies heavily on Ford's charisma and anyone he talks to and like bats eyes at. It wouldn't be anything without Harrison Ford, to be completely honest with you.
Oh, for sure. How about you, Jordan?
Honestly, it was not as good as I thought it was going to be. I also I kind of already mentioned this, but I had no idea what the plot of the movie was until we watched it. Like I thought the sequence at the beginning was the end.
Oh,
and like that's what it was going to be. So I was very bamboozled. It was a complete surprise, but honestly, I still wasn't impressed by it. Like, sure, now that you mentioned that it's the framework for all adventure movies, yeah, but
That's fair enough. Well, it's this is like kind of like watching a modernist film after seeing a bunch of whole postmodernist takes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even right now, the current the current generation that are reading middle grade and young adult books, they read Percy Jackson. They have the same reaction that you guys are having with Indiana Jones, because Percy Jackson created the framework for a lot of new young adult and middle grade series that now when they go back to read the Lightning Thief, they're like, oh, this isn't as cool as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Well, they can go fuck them.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Kids don't know what they're talking about.
Hey, that's what my generation is saying about your opinions right now.
Kevin, we're the same generation.
I know.
God.
But anyways, I think this movie is an absolute banger still. in the sense that this is the perfect dad movie.
Yeah,
There's no nuance to it at all. It's just pure adventure. And yeah, and it's like, it's like, it has like that, it's almost like a wish fulfillment for like masculinity, but not in a terrible way. Question mark.
Only a little bit.
Only a little bit. I would. It's still like some of them. Like, I don't know, man.
There's a very ambiguous conversation with Marion and Jones when they first meet back up in the bar, and it's really weird. I'm like, oh, this did not age well at all.
Yeah. But no, it's a movie that is pure adventure, and I still had a lot of fun with it. Ryan in the notes says, I needed an 80s movie to watch, so this was nice. Agree with Kevin, it's pure action and adventure, but it kept throwing me off because half the music was almost Star Wars. Thanks, John Williams.
I like your commentary with Ryan's notes. Also, Kevin, I have a question, right? So
yes.
This Raiders of the Lost Ark is set in the 30s.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
the
1934?
opening scene is set in the 30s. And then it transitions to the 41, I think, when they go back. No,
it's because like
because it builds right off of it.
Yeah, so it's like literally like the week after the opening.
Because then like he comes back and he's teaching, and then he tells Marcus like, I had it in my hand.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, okay.
I think it's 1934. Hold on, it says it on the VHS tapes.
1936.
36.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So can you explain to me how he would still be kicking? With the Crystal Skull one came out.
Because Crystal Skull is set in the
50s.
Yeah.
Oh, it's set in the 50s? Okay, see, I don't remember this. Yeah. That makes so much more sense. Okay.
Not modern times.
I thought it was modern times. I was like, how is this possible?
He actually drank the little chalice in The Last Crusade. That's the only reference Kevin will get.
I was going to say, I don't understand what any of that means.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
the MacGuffin
we'll
for
later.
Last Crusade is a cup that gives you more immortality.
Oh.
The Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
Anyways.
Okay. Anyway,
well,
sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for clearing that up. I could have Googled it. I don't
Dumb
know.
joke.
No. It would be fine. So what's one thing you liked about Raiders of the Lost Ark? Jordan, you want to kick us off?
Sure. The score is it's iconic, right? John Williams does not miss. Also, the one thing that kind of kept me going through this movie was just Harrison Ford. Not so much his charisma. I mean, his charisma was nice, okay, but his face is also nice. So, and he just looked good in every single outfit. He looked good in his little Indiana Jones adventure outfit. He looked good in his little glasses and suit. I was like, this is good. I really liked it.
The wardrobe on point.
Oh my God. Point. I would be one of those girls that just took his class because he's hot.
When they transitioned to him in Egypt wearing like that linen shirt, even I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Go Harrison.
Okay, honestly, I'm not that attracted to him as Han Solo, right? But like Indiana Jones, it just hits different.
It does.
Oh.
But
it does.
You could also tell he enjoys doing Indiana Jones more than he enjoys doing Han Solo.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But also like Han Solo is just like Indiana Jones is a suave, charismatic. He's going to do the right thing in the end. Han Solo is just kind of a piece of shit to begin with and kind of just happens to stumble upon.
That's fair.
Like Mr. Magoo.
Han Solo's toxic masculinity and Indiana Jones is regular masculinity.
Yeah. And then Han Solo, Mr. Magoo's into like, oh, maybe I won't be this asshole anymore, you know? Yeah.
So Zach, what did you like about
I agree with Jordan. Harrison Ford, the music, his performance is just great. Anytime he's just doing something, I'm like, yeah, it's fun to watch. Just Harrison Ford being Harrison Ford. Karen Allen also does really well as Marion to match his charm. Like their relationship and like their flirtiness back and forth is done really well. It's also like I like how we can't completely trust, like they don't completely trust one another. Like they're always expecting one or the other to betray each other, which is kind of funny. Makes it very sexually tensioned.
See, I didn't get any of that.
Really?
I did not.
Wow.
No. I just thought she was like shouting at him the whole time, and then all of a sudden she had to be rescued, and then she was calling out to him. Like, no. I was so confused by their relationship.
I hate to tell you you're wrong, but
I was sorry, Jordan. I'm with Zach on this.
Sorry, I'm just kidding.
I'll talk about that later, but I just
I agree again
That's
with
fair.
Jordan. John Williams does not miss. Anytime I think of John Williams, I just think of that scene, the guy playing the piano on the beach and it's on fire. That's just John Williams.
Mhm.
coming to the rescue.
What'd Ryan say?
Ryan says the opening scene is always fun for me. Pretty much introduces the character of Indiana Jones well, which I agree. I think because how he like the slow reveal of Harrison Ford's face, but like you see him do like Indiana Jones do like know things ahead of time. It's like, oh, don't step into the light, or like he identifies a poison tip arrow and stuff like that. It's just like makes him just see like, oh, he's cool. And then also, but then like, he's cool when it's building up to getting the treasure. Then once he has the treasure in his hand, suddenly he's failing at everything.
Yeah, he just flops, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. No, it was really great. Did you guys notice that Alfred Molina was in the opening scene?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw like, oh my God, Alfred Molina. I was like, I couldn't remember. Like, he doesn't have a big role in this, does he? And he gets killed instantly. I'm like, all right, cool, sweet.
Say, he still got his name in the opening credits.
He did.
He did. So I like my. So here's my other like not critique. Wait, I'll say for dislikes. So remind me about this comment I was
Okay.
gonna make about Harrison Ford using his skills.
Yeah, and I
about you,
really
Kevin?
liked the sense of adventure the movie had. It was what was really interesting about it watching it this time, because I haven't seen it in a while. There's a real like fly in the wall perspective of the film. Like you're not ingrained with you're not like in tune with a certain character. It's always just like being pulled back and like watching things unfold, which I think like I guess nowadays would hurt the film, because you don't know how to emotionally who to emotionally latch onto. But it like at the time of when it came out, I think it worked pretty well, because like that's how movies generally were made, where you're like pretty much fly on the wall. Star Wars was made that way too in the original in A New Hope. So I don't know, it was just very interesting to notice that this time around. And then there was like it was longer than I expected to.
Yes. Oh
like
my God.
It felt like, I'll talk a little bit more in the dislikes, but it felt a little longer this time than I remember watching it when I was a kid. So like there were some scenes I'm like, I don't remember this scene at all.
I don't remember this.
That's okay. After the first sequence, I was like, I don't remember any of this movie.
The last time I watched it was probably like 10 years ago. So like,
oh really?
Wow.
Yeah. So like, it makes sense that I don't remember everything from beginning to end.
How dare you not?
I know. I'm a fake film fan. What can I say? I don't remember every single frame of a movie. Wild. So we're going to take a quick break, and we come back. We'll talk about one thing we don't like and our final thoughts about Raiders of the Lost Ark. See you in a bit.
Hey everybody, my name is Jordan, and you've probably heard me on an episode or two, but did you know I also have a baking channel? Bluebell Bake is by the amateur baker for the amateur baker. On the channel, I'll be posting recipes, tips and tricks, and more so we can all learn to better our baking skills. You can find my channel on YouTube at Bluebell Bake, we're currently posting monthly, or on Instagram and TikTok, both at bluebell.bake. Come join our little community where no matter what happens, we keep on baking.
Don't you wish there was a pop culture review site that appealed to cinephiles, both professional and casual? Well, look no further than crpwrites.com. New content such as movie and TV reviews, film essays, and more are released every week by writers who crave for movies like every moviegoer craves for popcorn. CRP Writes is dedicated to making sure no one is wasting time or money where they shouldn't be. After all, you have to be able to buy your popcorn and eat it too. crpwrites.com. Casual reviews with purpose since 2018.
And welcome back to Committed Critics as we continue talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now we're going to cover one thing we didn't like or doesn't quite hold up in this movie. Zach, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I'm very shocked how this one isn't like super like crazy. Like it's more recent than A New Hope. Like this was in 81, right? And A New Hope is in 1977. So like this was made after Star Wars. I would have bet money this was made before Star Wars.
No.
Right. Yeah. That's just the way it feels. Like the movie feels to me because it feels older because it's set in that like 1936 timeline, right?
The budget is way bigger. If you look at all like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially like that part when they were at the digging site in the desert. I was looking at all the background action and everything that was set up. I'm like, holy hell, I would hate to be a PA on this movie.
Yeah, for sure. And like even like that kind of not aged gracefully effects at the very end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But Raiders still feels like an older like mid 70s movie to me because like it was shot in the 70s, so that kind of adds up.
Mm-hmm.
Blows my mind that this could be considered an 80s movie. It's definitely the slate of all action movies, but I would say I wasn't super invested in it. Like not as low as Jordan's going to be, but in the same vein of like, yeah, that was good. Okay, I can die happy now, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if like Raiders of the Lost Ark is like considered itself to be an 80s movie more than Indiana Jones is considered to be an 80s franchise.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
How about you, Jordan? What's one thing you didn't like?
There's a couple things, but my thing, it was just boring.
Fair enough, I guess.
It was
Everyone's
long.
entitled to their opinions.
You also agreed it was long, Kevin. Okay,
I felt like it was a little too long, but it wasn't bored.
Kevin, I started falling asleep towards the end of it. Okay, I just like once they got stuck with all the snakes, that's when I started dozing off. I was like, all right, like when is this gonna finish off?
Once they were stuck with the snakes, I'm like, okay, we have to be getting close. They just got captured. They're gonna go right to the freaking thing. And then they have the plane fight. They have Indiana Jones with the bazooka trying to blow everyone up. I'm like, okay, we did not need this middle part right here. We could have cut right to the ritual at the temple.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Anyway.
Like I also like something that I liked that Marion could fight. Like that was cool. Like she could outdrink people. She could fight. But she was also like the clumsy damsel in distress. And honestly, I just felt like that was a little overused, which is why I could not see their chemistry, because it was like as soon as they had a nice moment, it was all of a sudden she was in trouble and needed to be rescued.
Yep.
Like, and also, okay, going back to their relationship, I don't understand their relationship that much, because it was like they meet up with each other again. And she's like, you know, it was 10 years ago. You left me. I hate you now. And then like the next scene they're like together after the basket thing was that they kiss. And I was like, where did this come from? Like, it wasn't like a staring into each other's eyes and then it happens. No, he was just like, boom, I'm going to kiss you. And then they're like kind of together, but kind of not. I was so confused.
He thought she died.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you could still build that up a little bit.
Yeah, that was the thing. He thought she died. Oh, he's like, oh my God, I can't like live without her. And then
realizes that he does love her.
Yeah, realizes that he does love her. That's why they kissed.
And even though she says she hates him, she doesn't.
I know she doesn't, but it's just like I don't know. I just felt like it was.
It's not like the greatest romance.
No,
it's not great at all.
By a long shot.
The sexual chemistry, though. Oh, let me tell you.
I would say I'd rewatch it to see, but I'll fall asleep.
Just rewatch that scene. However, Harrison Ford could have sexual chemistry with The Rock, and I'd watch it.
Also, you were going to say something about his skills.
Oh, I didn't really necessarily like you said, in the beginning scene, we see him like be smart, right? He does like the poison arrow. He knows what all the traps are. After he becomes the clumsy idiot with the idol, after he leaves the temple, we don't really see him being smart ever again, besides like learning how like doing the archaeological parts, like reading the maps. Like he doesn't like see any more traps that happened before him. He doesn't like, he just does his craft well as the archaeologist, not as the adventurer after the opening sequence. And I was kind of like, it's kind of weird, but whatever.
Well, I mean, because this is it's kind of like the breakdown of like how, so like the opening is how Indiana Jones is perceived as a legend, but then afterwards is how Indiana Jones actually is as a person, where he constantly screws up. Okay. Like, you know, he always constantly has to think on the fly. You know, he can't do it all alone. That sort of deal. So like that's intentional. Yeah. He's not supposed to be perfect at everything he does, because then he becomes a really uninteresting character.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
What about you, Kevin? We're doing Ryan.
I can go over Ryan's. Ryan basically says the same thing you, Jordan. Marion's character She's introduced as a strong, independent woman who owns her own bar, can drink anyone under the table, and punches the man who broke her heart right as he walks in.
Mm-hmm.
She's not completely badass, but she's still good. Then the rest of the movie, she spends in a dress and a damsel in distress.
Yes.
Very par for the course of the time. Also, the ending is just abrupt.
They were like so close to Marion's character. Like they're like, oh, cool. And then she just becomes a total like stereotype. I'm
yeah,
like, wow.
and then has to use
Well,
like her
it's kinda
looks
like-
to seduce someone. I was just like, come on.
It's kind of like Leia in the original trilogy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
George
who made
Lucas helped
those?
with this, Kevin. Come on.
Yeah,
let's
no,
think
you're
about
right.
this.
Yeah, it tracks. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
say
that'd
Carrie
be like-
Fisher's charisma does Princess Leia better, obviously. But
right. Yeah, and then but also like the romance between Marion and Indiana Jones is kind of like similar to Leia and Han Solo and
oh yeah, 100%.
and
He's
Empire
like
Strikes
10
Back.
He's 10 years older than Leia. It's weird to think about it. It's really
Oh, yeah.
gross.
I was like, yeah, no, in Empire Strikes Back, I was like, I'm not completely bought into this.
Yeah, she's like 21. But in freaking Indiana Jones, like there's that weird conversation they have in the bar. It's like, I was just a child last time I saw you. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, like
we need
student teacher thing.
we need to define how young you were, ma'am, before we need to call someone.
It was the 80s.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is that. If that line didn't exist, I could buy everything. But since that line exists now, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, I can see a 10-year difference with Princess Leia and Harrison Ford. I'm like, we gotta
It's
strike
aliens,
down.
so like, it's whatever.
Yeah. Well, like, we gotta hone down on what this comment was made in the bar here,
I
ma'am.
think that's also what played in for me about their relationship. It was just like the fact that she's had that line and she was just like a student to his teacher. I was like, that's still a big age difference. Like I was uncomfy.
Yeah, we sound like is she like a teenager and he was in his late 20s? Like, what's going on here? I need to track down this answer.
The answer might actually be out there somewhere because there is like a young Indiana Jones TV series about
I will look it up.
when he's high school age. So I don't know if Marion's ever part of it, but yeah, for the one thing I didn't like is that the constant adventure gets a little exhausting around the 90-minute mark.
Yes.
And there's like, and then some of the slower scenes are like a little too slow, but I feel like if this could be trimmed down to like a 90-minute movie, I think it would be a little stronger, but not too much, not too stronger.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I'm not
I wish
saying
we
it's not saying it's currently bad, but I'm like, I got a little exhausted around the 90-minute mark.
No.
I looked
What?
up their relationship.
Oh no!
According to the Indiana Jones fandom, the script states that Marion's age in Raiders is 25 years old, making her around 15 at the time of the affair with a 27-year-old Indiana Jones.
With at the time 27.
Yeah.
When they first
What?
got together.
Indy's 37 in the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I'm gonna look it up. How?
Indiana Jones was in college at the time.
Oh no. This is worse.
He is 37 years old in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh no. Oh no.
Hey, Kevin, I need you to take back that this is way worse than Princess Leia and Han Solo.
Oh no.
I need you to say it, please.
This is terrible. Yeah, this is way worse than Leia and Solo. Oh my god.
Oh no, it's all built on pedophilia. No.
I knew it.
George Lucas, you bastard.
I take back my sexual tension now that I know how old they were.
you.
She's a child.
Thank you. She actually was a child, so that line holds up.
Oh no. Man, he's old as shit in Crystal Skull.
Yeah. Also, owning your own bar at 25? Not
Good
bad.
for her.
Yeah, go off.
Good
I mean,
for
she,
her.
Gaslight gatekeep girl boss. Let's go.
I mean, she was preyed upon by a 27-year-old man, so I mean, she had to age pretty quick.
No,
He's 58 in Crystal Skull.
Okay, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, sounds about right. Oh man, that's rough. I cannot look at this movie the same way. Why is this the canon? They could have changed. This doesn't have to be the canon.
You know, we definitely
They can be given any age.
So
Why that age?
All they have to do is in the like Indiana Jones 5, just make him like 57 and he'll fix everything.
It makes sense though, right? Because like Marion's dad was the professor. Indy was in college and asked her like as a mentor.
It makes 100% sense.
And then that means Marion was a teenager.
Here's the
that's
thing.
how they met.
They didn't have to write it like that. They didn't have to write it like that.
They could have like at the time, Marion could have been 18 and Indy could have been 21. He's still in college. She's still like, or like kind of a kid.
That's more justifiable. Like, like, this is
like the canon
gross.
still works.
Yeah, why did they write it like this? Like, why?
Yeah, I never knew the age gap was that huge. I thought it was like a 3 to 5 year age gap.
Nope.
Now this is off of a quick Google search from a couple of like
I don't know the actual
websites.
Actors' ages.
Like the fandom.com, Screen Rant, like, oh my god.
Ugh. Disgusting.
I gotta take a shower.
George Lucas, what have you done?
I can't wait to title this episode with something so clickbaity. We learned
Indiana
what
Jones.
about Indiana Jones?
Oh no. Final thoughts on Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Indiana Jones the pedophile. My final thoughts, I can cross it off my list. Now that we know that information, I'm very neutral on Raiders of the Lost Ark, almost negative. Don't really need to see any of the other ones now. I'm good to go, you know?
That's fair. I still think you guys should watch The Last Crusade because it is
with
like
the pedophile Kevin. No, I'm just kidding.
Marion's not in it.
There we go.
Pedophile's still there.
But no, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Sorry, The Last Crusade is actually like a really funny adventure comedy. So it's much more lighthearted. It doesn't feel as slow.
Okay.
So it's like kind of peak Indiana Jones. So
that's still with his dad, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Great Father's Day movie.
Yeah.
You can skip Temple of Doom though.
Fair enough.
I've heard so many terrible things about Temple of Doom.
It's not terrible. It's just like, it's darker, but like kind of forgets to tell a story. So
Nice.
It's just not as interesting, but like the direction is really cool.
Ryan's final thoughts. He enjoyed it. Not his favorite thing or anything.
Wait till he hears this portion of the episode.
Bro, he's gonna freak.
What about you, Jordan? Final thoughts?
I could see how this film was exciting back at its release and why so many people love it to this day. We can all agree that it's controversial though with the relationship, but honestly, it's just not my cup of tea. I'm glad I watched it though. Like Zach said, he crossed it off my list. Like I finally watched it, but I don't know. I can't look at it the same way anymore.
The ages aren't explicitly stated in the movie, so like,
But she
I don't
said she
know.
was a child.
If that line didn't exist.
That could mean 17 or 18 as well. So like,
That's still not good. That's still 10 years.
well, well, that's also like, we never know Indiana Jones's age either. So like, we can just make it up.
Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing, like Indiana Jones could like Harrison Ford is unageable like gold, right? So he could be fucking 27 when he's a professor, right?
Because I thought he was 30 in the movie.
What's going on? What are we doing here?
What?
I'm just looking at her Wikipedia.
Jordan found the Marion Ravenwood Wikipedia, and it says Jones abruptly left the Ravenwoods in 1926. Marion was about 16 or 17 years old when the relationship ended, and Jones was 27, 10 years her senior.
Slightly better, but not by much.
No, hey, no.
not enough to justify it.
There's a Polygon article entitled Indiana Jones was an abusive creep.
Oh no. All right. Moving on.
What's the pick for next 2 weeks?
It is my turn to challenge you guys. So this was inspired by our favorite older movies episode when Ryan says that he likes watching older romantic comedies and Jordan said she likes watching old murder mysteries. I'm like, well, I got the perfect movie. It is Charade from 1963, which is a romantic comedy murder mystery with spies.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Starring Audrey Hepburn and Cary Grant. It is available to stream on Amazon Prime. Criterion Channel, Canopy, and Hoopla. So if you want to watch it, you can watch it there. It's a very solid movie. The way it was originally pitched to me was that it's the best Alfred Hitchcock movie that was not made by Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay.
Nice.
Do you guys want the short summary?
Sure.
After Regina Lampert falls for the dashing Peter Joshua on a skiing holiday in the French Alps, she discovers upon her return to Paris that her husband has been murdered.
Oh.
Soon, she and Peter are giving chase to 3 of her late husband's World War II cronies, Tex, Scobie, and Gideon, who are after $250,000 the quartet stole while behind enemy lines. But why does Peter keep changing his name?
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Fascinating.
this this is classic Hollywood. So there's an age gap.
Oh, no, not another one.
You know, it was super common in like the 60s and backwards.
Yeah.
It's whoa. No, but this is one of my favorite Audrey Hepburn movies, and she has a pretty strong role for a woman in the 60s. So highly recommend.
All right.
So we'll review that in 4 weeks. For now, if you want to hear the rest of our thoughts about other topics, tune into our full episode over on Patreon. Link below in the description. You can just unlock those Patreon portions for $5 a month. You can follow us on Twitter at Committed Chris, that's COMMITTED, YouTube Committed Critics, spelled the same there as here everywhere else. TikTok at Committed Critics, one word. And special thanks to our current patrons, Davey Peppers from Game Mechanics, Ryan Kowalkowski from Ryan Plays Drums, Andy Phillips from Andy Phillips, Jody Wright, and Devin Vonderhyde. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.